Well, years and years and years ago here in Idaho, the first MMA event that was ever held, I actually fought in it, and it was a limited rules, a little rough, and unfortunately I won. It was basically some of us self-trained jiu-jitsu guys against a bunch of local college wrestlers. So it was rough. From there, the next one I decided to step out, and then they asked me, oh, if you're not going to fight, could you ref? So I ended up reffing it, and one of the people that fought was actually UFC former lightweight champion Jens Pulver. So he actually fought in it. So that's how far back that was. And that was like in 1996, and so that's a long time ago on that. And then I trained for a couple more fights, and people would ask me to referee, and so I'd end up refereeing. And then even one night I was going to be fighting, and my guy backed out, and I trained, and then the next time out, that same promoter asked me to referee his fights just because I refereed. So I kind of stumbled into it over the years. There's other referees, way long time ago. Myself and two other people here, Rulin and Chuck. They both have been involved and still do jiu-jitsu and fight, and so but we all look at refereeing just like jiu-jitsu or any martial arts endeavor is. We don't just step in the ring. I mean, we try to improve. The saying lately, and I've heard it for a long time, is Brazilian jiu-jitsu is a marathon. Refereeing is the same way. We take it super seriously. How can I check the fighters in better when they come in the ring? All of us do. We talk about it all the time. We're always trying to improve, and it's not huge major improvements always, but I always tell myself that I'm a heck of a lot better referee than I was 6 months ago, and I'm a lot better referee than I was a year ago. And back when I first started, I'm a lot better. But the key is always trying to improve, just like in any endeavor, like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So that's how I got into refereeing. Kind of fought in the first one, and then the next one I didn't fight, and they said, "Hey, you want to ref it?" And I said, I guess so. So then I started reffing, and I used to watch like Big John McCarthy, kind of look at how he did it, and kind of come up with my own things. And then over the years, myself and then two other people got involved years later. We kind of all started talking about it and systemizing it and trying to really make it a system that you just keep improving. So there's how I got involved. Well, that I can remember, not any substantial injuries. I've seen some people limp off. One was a knee bar specifically, and he just wasn't going to tap, and the guy had it on him, was cranking on him. He finally tapped. And he limped off, but I think he was okay down the road. Leg locks, I again, done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for years and been in the sport. I love leg locks. I love people to add them into the game, but you got to be really careful because with just shorts on, skin to skin, a lot of sweat. Leg locks are risky a lot of times, and so everybody needs to have them in the game because you can throw them in and surprise somebody. But no, I've seen heel hooks, maybe people limping off, but I haven't heard of any long-term damage on those. For the most part, they tap, and a lot of times in leg locks, man, do I see a lot of people get out of them. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to stop it, or wow, that guy's going to tap, and just adrenaline and the sweat and everything, and they just get out of them. So leg locks are a great addition. It's like anything, it's a pendulum going back and forth. You see a lot of stand up, then you see a lot of ground, then you see a lot of kicking. Leg locks right now, they're there, but I'm sure people are going to figure out some new and creative ways to get them back in, and they'll come back and be more prevalent. But right now, the way it is with the sweat and all that stuff, I haven't seen a lot of injuries. People just seem to get out of them. Absolutely, I see it a lot, becoming more and more common. Eddie Bravo, huge fan of Eddie Bravo. Bits and pieces of his game, I see all the time. I see him on big shows, UFCs and stuff. The Rubber Guard, Joe Rogan, huge fan. He's always talking about mission control and lockdown and Rubber Guard. So it's all throughout, bits and pieces. It's tough sometimes when you're pounding each other to get any specific system or style to go all the way all the time. But But absolutely, I see the lockdown used a lot. Why isn't it used more? I don't know. A lot of people probably don't practice it. They probably should. I just think the whole 10th planet, there's bits and pieces of it that are very beneficial in the MMA, and it benefits anybody to add those to their game. So yes, I do see the lockdown, and I think that you're going to see it more and more, along with a lot of Eddie Bravo's and 10th planet stuff in the future in MMA. It just seems to work, and a great addition to anybody's game. Here recently, just a few weeks back, and this happened numerous times over the years. Again, because I've done jiu-jitsu for years and years, and grappling, I'm real, and plus I've refereed and for years and years and years, is that I see a person have a rear naked choke on, and or some type of choke, and I see the guy is kind of struggling, and he's hanging on. I'm always looking to see when he goes limp, if he's not going to tap, And the second, I think I did a pretty good job, because the guy was just trying not to tap, and the second he just barely went limp, I stopped the fight immediately, and he woke right back up again. But he knew there's some time missing, so he knew, and he was did the right thing, and just kind of dang it, he lost the match, right? Overall, though, but here in Idaho, what we've implemented is suspensions. So if a guy does get choked clear out and doesn't tap, he'll actually be suspended for X amount of days. The doctor determines that, but it can be minimum of like 30 days if he gets if he gets choked out, right? So it almost is in a fighter's favor to tap out, because if he doesn't tap out and gets choked out, has a technical knockout because he just isn't going to quit, right? He'll get suspended, won't be able to fight, 30, 90, 120, longer, depending on things. So it's in their best interest to, if they're going, to tap. If they don't, they're going to get suspended. But again, I've had people get in arm bars and leg locks and stuff like that, and chokes. And most of the time, I've never had anybody, unfortunately, get injured at all with arm locks and leg locks and stuff. They've always tapped, fortunately. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to stop it, and they tap, and then I'm happy they tap. So there you go. Here in Idaho, it's best if you're caught and really caught, it's best you just tap out, because one, you're not going to get hurt, be able to train again and come back and do better the next time, and two, you won't get suspended.